Okay, well, my book, A Dark History of Whisky, is going to be published on February the 28th next year. So we're gearing up to publication now. I've got a proof copy here from the publisher, which I'm working through to look for any typos or anything that have snuck their way in through the various stages of production. And I'm very pleased with the way the book is shaping up. And I hope that many of the whisky fans that come to this website, come to this channel, will enjoy the book and will indeed go out and get a copy. I'll just read you a little bit from the section I'm working on now, which comes from a chapter in the book called Trouble on the Emerald Isle, which looks at the history of whisky from an Irish perspective. So this chapter states that, indeed, it would not be until 1608, decades after the initial act had become law, that the first licence to distill was issued. This was granted to Sir Thomas Phillips, and his old Bushmills distillery became not only the first ever distillery to be licensed in the country, but actually the first in the world. Today the distillery makes a big noise about this distinction in its advertising. However, as with everything related to the whisky, there is some argument to the veracity of its claims to be the world's oldest licensed distillery. Since whilst it is true that the first ever licence to distill was issued to Sir Thomas in 1608, the old Bushmills distillery was not founded until 1784, and it has only been in continuous production since 1885, having been rebuilt after a fire destroyed the original distillery. This technically makes the Kilbeggan distillery, founded in 1757, the oldest licensed distillery. So, that's just a little bit there from the book. Let's do a whisky review. Today I've got a whisky review. It's going to be a bourbon. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon whisky, and it is Woodford Reserve Distillers Select. Now it's bottled up, comes in at 43.2% ABV. This is a 70 cl bottle, and full price for this, I had it as part of a club card offer, so I had it cheaper, but I think it's about £38 a bottle, this bourbon. As I say, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon. But what's interesting about this whisky, makes it quite unique, is that it's triple distilled, which is something that doesn't usually happen in bourbon production. In fact, according to the Woodford website, Woodford Reserve is the only triple distilled bourbon in the world. This plastic is difficult to get off. I have drunk this in the past. This whisky has got a high back last year. We went away, and the bar in the hotel we were staying in, this was one of their whiskies, so I probably had several glasses during that little holiday, and I did very much enjoy it. But this is the first time that I've actually purchased a full-size bottle for myself. Not because you know, I wasn't that impressed when I originally drank it, because it was a delightful whiskey, but I tend to most of the bourbon I buy is either Wild Turkey or Buffalo Trace, because they are slightly cheaper than the Woodford Reserve. Now and then I'll go for more premier, shall we say, or premium bourbons such as Eagle Rare, you know, but generally I tend to stick with Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey, both wonderful drinks in themselves. But now let's talk a little bit about Woodford Reserve. Yeah, so it's 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley, and of course, as I mentioned, it's triple distilled. It's also aged around 6 years before being bottled up for Woodford Reserve. So let's get it open properly. Still struggling with it. I would recommend, if you buy a bottle of Woodford Reserve, that you make it your first drink of an evening, because it's difficult enough to uncork this thing. Imagine what it'd be like if I was drunk. Ooh, lovely pop there. Okay, the smell in the cork there of just getting a familiar bourbon aroma, which I am quite familiar with. So there's a little pour there. I was watching, or rather flicking around YouTube, just looking at whiskey videos, and I came across a video from Whiskey, Wit and Wisdom, in which they took the Billy Joel song from the Stormfront album, We Didn't Start the Fire, and they changed the lyrics. Oh, it's so clever the way they've done it. I recommend, if anyone who hasn't seen that video, to seek it out, and I will put a description in link in the description box below.
Started throttling like a car straight bottling. Business rose, business fell, some went and formed the DCL. Campbelltown dropped off the shelf, then Scotia's owner drowned himself. Prohibition, world wars, shook the game right to the core. Things go from boom to bust, who in whiskey can you trust? From the mid-20th century, distillers changed technology. Shell and tube condensers, washbacks made of stain.
Let's get on to this Woodford Reserve. Okay, now colouring, nice golden rich colour. Take it to the light, shine the light through it. It's really golden. It's on the darker end of the bourbon colour spectrum, but that's of course given the fact that it was aged for 6 years, which is a considerable amount of time in the barrel. So it would have taken a lot from the wood during that 6 years. So as I say, it's a really attractive drink. Really a lovely golden taste, dark, caramelly. So let's take it to the nose. Almost like, looks like, and I'm talking purely about the way it looks in the glass. Okay, now you're getting that typical bourbon aroma, but it's very rich. So I know there's quite a bit of complexity to this drink on the nose. Not getting any immediate notes jumping out of me on the aroma, other than that, you know, I'm inviting come and taste me kind of thing going on there. So let's take it to the palate. There's quite a finish. I'm still tasting in the back of my throat. Caramelly, creamy. It's a very good finish. Toffee caramel. That's the thing I'm getting here. It's lovely. I'm going to add a little water to the drink a moment. Just a touch on my cool gadget. I had this in a blend your own whiskey kit. It's really cool. I don't know what you call this, but anyway, it's really cool. You dip it in your water or in your whiskey if you're mixing whiskies. You put your finger over the hole, and then it takes out a nice amount of water. Now, the addition of water to whiskey opens up the whiskey. When you get your whiskey straight from the bottle, neat the way I've just drunk it. It was delightful, but I find, and some don't agree with me, some have their own opinions on this, but I find that a drop of water added to the whiskey releases, there's a reaction between the water and the whiskey, and it releases a lot more of the aromas, a lot more of the flavours. So let's see what effectively, when you add a little water, it's almost like you're putting the proof down a little bit, which you are, but that rich, deep aroma's there, but it seems sweeter now. Now that's really giving this drink a kick. I'm getting Parma violets now in the back of my throat. Still that toffee. Some mint, faint mint. That is quite delicious. I'm gonna enjoy this bottle. Woodford Reserve,
nice
Distillers Select,
well,
Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
I do
Kentucky
like
Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
these type of bottle designs. You know, they're not to run of the mill. They seem to give a classy kind of image to the drink that's contained inside, and there's also some of a vintage feel about it. I do love these old bottles. Probably got too much time on my hands. On my whiskey interest is suddenly becoming an obsession. Through my kidding, it's always been an obsession, and it's an obsession that I welcome, and that I feed with knowledge, and by drinking a fair amount of whiskey, to be honest. Well, that is really nice now. I mean, I can't. There's also maybe a little aniseed on the back end of it. But Woodford Reserves themselves claim in their advertising that there are 200 tasting notes that can be picked up from a glass of the Woodford Reserve. I don't get anywhere near 200, but then I watch some reviewers reviewing whiskey and all the notes that they are getting, whether they pull in out of thin air. They say apples, oranges, citrus, lemon, you know, gooey kind of candy, all that stuff. I don't get all that, but what I do get with Woodford Reserve in particular here is a good high quality bourbon taste. Yes, it's got that bourbon taste. I'm actually surprised because 80% rye is quite an high rye content. It's not giving me the really rye spice. The rye is there, and when you drink it and you think about it and you try and concentrate on pulling flavours out of it of what you're actually experiencing, it does dance in the mouth. Caramelly sweetness, a smoothness. It's typical bourbon. You know, you know that it's a fine quality drink when you taste it. You know you're drinking a quality bourbon. You know you're not drinking you know, a Saturday night special. It is a quality bourbon. Damn fine, really nice. It's still got a creamy taste in my mouth, and it's been what, a little while since I just finished that glass, quite a few minutes, and I've still got that creaminess in the back of my mouth.